Is it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is August 16th. It is 9 p.m. my time. It's 7 p.m. UK time, by the way. And today is the day when Premier League kicks off. Basically, in an hour, Manchester United play against Fulham at the old at home, and they are going to try and get their first win. Obviously, there are quite a bit of Arsenal players in that team, so hopefully they do good. Hopefully they maybe do some cheeky Emil Smith-Rowe hat-trick or something like that, and they ruin Manchester United's beginning of the season. But yeah, Premier League kicks off today. There is no argument about that. Arsenal kick off Premier League tomorrow. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK time, Arsenal play Wolves at the Emirates, of course. And the big thing is, I actually gonna be live for the full watch along. Not gonna lie, there will be full watch along from me. I had many doubts and many things I tried to basically avoid, tried to reschedule and everything, flights and everything, just to make it for the stream, for the first watch along I've ever done on this channel. And I did it. I actually managed to do it. So we're gonna have a full live watch along, Arsenal versus Wolves, Emirates Stadium, Premier League kicks off, and all that good stuff. So get ready, first watch along of many, hopefully everything goes great. But yeah, 16th of August 2024, transfer window shuts in 14 days, and Arsenal are basically nowhere. They haven't signed anyone besides Calafiori. They have properly sold just one player. Rest of them have been loaned out with options or obligations to buy, but obviously that obligation to buy also feels like an option to buy because certain criteria needs to be met, certain objectives need to be fulfilled till it gets activated. So it will be very interesting to see how it goes, where everything goes, how it develops and all that good stuff. However, obviously there are still lots of transfer rumors in the air. Today, on today's stream, we're gonna talk about transfer rumors, of course, and then we're gonna have a small preview for Arsenal versus Wolves, and we're gonna go basically from there. We're gonna talk about the game, and we're gonna maybe try and predict the starting 11 and all that good stuff. But yeah, of course, we're gonna kick things off with transfer rumors about Arsenal that include Arsenal. About obviously daily Mikel Merino is still in play, so today we're gonna talk about Mikel and Merino even more. We're going to talk about Edu Nketiah. There actually is a team that actually might take him. So that is also a big thing. There are potential chances that Ramsdale even might leave. So that is very interesting. And of course, some other links. And also we had Mikel Arteta preseason first Waffle House. Mikel Arteta Waffle House, where we're going to look at what he had to say for the interview before the preseason, before the season kicks off. What did he say? How did he feel? And all that good stuff. So definitely we're gonna look at it. We're gonna see if it was full waffle. You need maple syrup with all that stuff and everything. So sit here back and enjoy. And if you're new around here, of course, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell. Don't forget to comment, interactive in the chat. And of course, be here tomorrow, 3 p.m. First watch along. I'm gonna try the first watch along. Hopefully from many, we'll see how this goes, how things develop compared to regular streams and everything. So hopefully we will be good. So of course, like the thing, helps the algorithm. Subscribe, helps a lot in general. And of course, get interactive in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this as a playback in a way. And big up the chat. Big up Tamina in the chat. Big up BX Gunner in the chat. Hope your week has been fantastic and you're ready for 2 good days of vacation now. Obviously for me, it's a very nice thing. I have 2-week vacation for the next 2 weeks, which means I can sit back, relax, not worry about work, and just chill. So definitely very looking forward to that. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had a vacation since last year, so that will be kind of fantastic. But we're gonna kick things off today with Mikel Arteta Waffle House. Basically, what we're gonna do, we're gonna read through Mikel Arteta's interview today. And prepare your maple syrup if you like it with waffles, chocolate syrup, whatever you like with the waffles, because 100% there will be some waffling going on. So, Coleman music, let's hit it and let's do this. First things first. First of many, first one. Let's see, before. Just had 2 days off, back to work tomorrow, but enjoy your vacation. Big up. Such a shame you have to work on weekends. You have to work tomorrow during when Arsenal play. That's kind of blows. Can you watch the game as well, or you will just basically follow along just on scoreboards? Yeah, Merino, it looks like it will be finally coming to Arsenal. It looks that way at least. So that will be very interesting, and for once at least we have managed to do a deal. We will basically in 2 months of transfer window we will have signed 2 players. Incredible piece of business by Arsenal. Edu Gaspar to stay here forever and all that stuff. By the way, if this gets clipped and you take this seriously, you're a dumbass. Just saying, just putting that out right now. Mostly because, let's be real, it was just sarcasm. Anyways, let's do this. Premier League, Arsenal, first interview and all that thing. I'm on the east coast of the USA, so it's early in the day. I work in the evening. Oh, that's good. So you can watch the game and then go to work, right? Yeah? That's kind of annoying, isn't it, as well? Because if Arsenal, let's say, draws the game, it will piss you off and you will have to go to the work annoyed as hell. That kind of blows, though. That legitimately kind of blows. Anyways, finally, to Mikel Arteta interview. Let's do this. Only if Jurgen Tilber will be fit. Jurgen will be in the squad tomorrow. Obviously, he had a really tough period, but he used it great. A great way, I think. He's managed to get a good lot of things done and improved in many areas except playing. He found it really helpful, I think. And now he's ready and he has a chance. So basically, he is ready. He is fully fit, fully ready. Probably gonna start off the bench, but hey ho, here we are. On Fabio Vieira, we will check him now after training to see how he look to adapt to it. So basically, if you're living under a rock, Fabio Vieira has a slight hip injury. That's what Arsenal have told us. And he didn't play the last preseason game against Lyon. He was just with the squad on the bench. He didn't play. And yeah, Fabio Vieira, 35 million down the drain by the looks of things. So we'll see how that goes. Tomiyasu, they say it will be a few weeks, which means he'll be back, I would say mid-September or early October. On if there are any other injury concerns, no, everyone else is fine. Well, good for us, I guess. Good for us, I guess, at least. On if we are ready to start off the season, we are really excited. Whoopity-doo. Arsenal fans are not excited, given that we haven't signed anyone, but Arsenal fans are excited for the season to kick off, yet they are very annoyed the fact that we haven't signed anyone. It kind of goes hand in hand. Arsenal always do the bare minimum or don't do anything at all. Always underwhelming windows, always 1 or 2 players short. We've been missing the competition for many weeks, it's too long for us, we are so willing to start and so enthusiastic about it. We had a really challenging preseason, but we have managed to adapt, and it was a great challenge for everyone to adapt with different groups, different stadiums, different conditions. We took it as an opportunity and a good challenge, and the team has looked really sharp. Really? I don't think so. The team didn't look too sharp against Liverpool. Team didn't look too sharp as... Team actually overall looks somewhat ready, I would say by 70% ready. Given that we still cannot properly score consistently from open play and we have to rely on set pieces to score, but it is what it is. We'll see how this goes. On William Saliba getting a club record 50 wins in 65 games. Yes, by the way. If Arsenal win tomorrow, Saliba becomes a first player to reach 50 games in record time in 65 games. The current record holder for 50 wins is Nacho Monreal. One of the most underrated players, in my opinion, in Arsenal's history. Nacho Monreal. Very underrated, in my opinion. But yeah, he did it in about 72, 76 games, something like that. But yeah, it looks like William Saliba will do it very, very quickly and very, very fast fashion. My face cam just went out of focus and now it's back in focus. So that is good, finally. On Mikel taking 77 games to get to 50 wins with Arsenal. That's why we are much better than we used to be. Well, to be honest, we are much better than we used to be. Yet at the same time, even though we are better, we are winning less than we used to, so it's, yeah, no comment. On his methods to keep his players' mind sharp at all times. This is the demands that we put on them internally. They have to be much higher than anyone can put on us in any position that we feel the pressure, and that's the level that we have to hit every single day. If we do, then our levels will increase and everybody will benefit from that. Holy crap, he can waffle about nothing. He basically, legitimately, is like a politician. He technically says a lot, But realistically, he says nothing. Basically, that's how half of this interview at the moment is going. Genuinely, that's how this half of this interview is going. A rumor surrounding Merino. You know I cannot talk about other players. Yeah, cool. Big up. On whether he wants to strengthen his midfield, I said after last season that we had two objectives. The main one and the most important one is to make sure that we are very much in love. What the hell is this? Very much in love with our players and find ways to improve them. And that's the main... Wait. The main and the most important one is to make sure that we are still very much in love with our players. What the hell is this sentence? Like, seriously, is this like Love Island or something? It's Arsenal Island. It's just like last year. Mikel Arteta, he conquered his wife, he dominated his wife. Zinchenko and Ben White are swapping their wives and living together and all that stuff. This is something similar. It's genuinely the same level, isn't it? Very much in love with our players. What the hell? Then if there are certain opportunities in the market and to improve the squad, certainly we will have to look at that. That's what we'll be trying to do. Okay, cool. Big up, big up, big up. Try to do that more often. He's playing the game. The question is, what is the game? Like, legitimately, what is the game here? What is the game plan and what is the finish of the game here? Because for me, it's winning titles, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. On what it takes to win the league after breaking club records in 23-24. Wait, whether more players will have in... Market is open, things happen, oh whatever. On what it to win in 2020, break more of those records again and earn more points because it won't be enough. With the level that we are competing with, every season is getting harder. We are going to have to improve again for sure. Sign a bloody striker then, you moron. Well, sorry, Mikel. I cannot put anything on Mikel, to be honest, because he can sanction a player that he wants. The rest of the stuff falls on Edu and Garlic and them lot. So, genuinely, I strongly believe that Mikel Arteta has said yes to the players he wants. The big issue with this is the rest of the staff are letting him down. They have let him down. Edu, Garlic, and the rest of scouting and everything, they are letting him down. He has identified the perfect players he needs. I just feel like the rest of the team is letting him down, and that is a very big issue for me. That's how I feel. I cannot blame Arteta for us not signing. It falls on Edu and rest of them lot. And I also feel that Mikel Arteta is kind of pissed, low-key, that Edu and his company are letting him down in this transfer window specifically. I strongly believe so. We brought in a chocolate lab and called it a Labrador and called it Win the Dog. That was the first problem. We need to bring the Rottweiler. To be honest, we could even bring in a shark and it wouldn't help. It all started when we played the You'll Never Walk Alone on speakers. Then we are planting trees and all that crap. Then we buy the dog. Then we use pickpockets and everything. It feels like we are living in a simulation where every single thing Arsenal do is to see how far you can push the Arsenal fan base until they crack. It's like a social experiment, pretty much. It genuinely feels that way. It's actually kind of mad. On being perfect to win the league, I don't know what perfect is. But it has to be very close to the numbers we've seen in recent years. You don't know what perfect is. Perfect is going invincible like we did under Arsene Wenger. That would be perfect, because if we win all the games and not lose, we will win the league inevitably. Let's be real. It should start with the fact that we beat Manchester City away in the 5th game of the season. We should start with that. We should win every single game until Manchester City, and we should beat Manchester City away. Because that game away is always where we fumble the bag. It doesn't matter we get a draw or what, there's always a telling what will happen during the season, and it doesn't look bright at the moment with the fact that we are lacking quite a bit of signings. It's not looking too bright for me at the moment. On competing with it for the title again, it's great when you're looking ahead and one you'll see that you're doing and everybody's enthusiastic. Just stop waffling. On keeping himself motivated, just looking around at the people that work every single day. They are ready, they are so willing to work, and they are ruthless about the vision that we have and that we want to achieve. Yo, this sounds good on paper. Let's maybe try and ignore the fact that the first time we finished second, Arteta came out and said himself that he contemplated quitting Arsenal's managerial job in the summer. Let's forget that, right? Let's just ignore that. Now everything's keeping him motivated, even though he first of all wanted to quit. Anyways, after 4 years and basically finishing eighth, battling fourth and finishing fifth, and then finishing second after being 8 points ahead, he contemplated resigning. And yeah, let's ignore that, right? Let's ignore that. It is what it is. On the Wolves test, it's really tough. We always have big challenges to beat teams. Gary O'Neill and his staff have done exceptional work. To be honest, yeah, Wolves actually looked very decent in preseason. I'm not gonna lie, Wolves actually looked pretty darn good. On the hunger of the players, nobody cares. On the last day of the season, we had gathering together with all the club players, and they were coming to me and saying, we are going to do it next year. We are going to be better, and we want more. So basically, in a way, here is a promise from Arsenal players that they're gonna win the league this year. Based on Mikel Arteta, what he has said at the moment. On the last day of the season, last year, when we finished second again, we had a gathering together with all the club players, and they were coming to me and saying, we are going to do it next year. So actually, our players have the ambition to win the league. Who knew? Legitimately, who knew? Nobody ever comes out and says that we're gonna win the league. Nobody puts themselves under that pressure. But right now, with Mikel Arteta coming out in the interview and saying this, that we are going to win it next year, according to what Arsenal players have said, he has put a massive pressure, an even bigger target on his back from Arsenal fans and from, I would assume, Cronkies as well in general. Because I think, even though he isn't under a pressure, I don't think Josh will sack him together with Stan. I still believe they have doubts about him, potentially. Maybe they have more doubts about Edu, that would be for sure, but maybe they have some doubts about Mikel as well. But the fact that Arsenal players have said that we are going to do it next year has put a massive target on their backs. Mostly because we're gonna be going into phase, what is this, year 6? Year 2009? 4, 5, year 5, phase 6 basically we are going in. If you don't win it now, you're never gonna win it. You might as well go away. You might as well go away and resign. Because this statement alone means that you will win it. You will try to win it at least. But they have promised in a way, we are going to do it next year. I like it from the players though. It shows determination and willingness and the fact that they actually want to do it. The question is, can they do it, and can Arteta drag them over the line? Because so far we haven't seen it at all. On the connection between players and our supporters, we need to make another step in this season. It has to be better than the last season. From day one, if we can create that, then we will have give them the reason to feel that way, and hopefully the team will do that. I'm sure they're going to respond. It was unbelievable the other day against Lyon already, so I expected a big one tomorrow again. Fair play. It should be a big one tomorrow in the Emirates because it's the first home game. We don't get offered home games to open the season. We usually start away, and we start on Friday as the first game. And on his feelings ahead of the new title challenge. Oh boy, here we go. Again, very excited. It's like you're trying to climb the highest mountain. So you're climbing Everest. To be honest, trying to beat City, it is like climbing Everest, I'm not gonna lie. It's the most difficult league in the world, and you feel surrounded by a lot of people who have the same ambition every single day to achieve it. Not to mention the media who are scrutinizing and looking you under a microscope with every move you make, by the way. Don't forget that when you hire more pickpockets. We are certainly going to try. On the players keeping themselves fit, blah blah blah, that's their job. On if the boss is putting pressure on himself to win the title. For me, it's the enthusiasm to do better. What the hell is that answer? And when certain tasks are already done, the last one is winning. We know so we are focusing on the process. Oh, the process, remember that, the process of what we need to do to give ourselves the best chance to achieve it, and that's the demand we put on ourselves every single day. So basically, he didn't answer the question. Legitimately, he didn't answer it. He just waffled around the question. He beat around the bush, but never said it what he was asked to say. Now, on being better than last year, for me, it's far from perfection, and this team still has some levels to reach. You need a reason to believe that because I've seen it already every day in the way they train and the way they play. There's still room for improvement. Oh, there's a lot of room to improvement for Arsenal, in my opinion. On if we have to dip in the market to buy a striker. Oh, this is a question I like to see. I love to see this question. The thing is, knowing Mikel, I'm not sure I'm gonna like the answer. I haven't read it and I haven't seen it, so let's see this. We have great strikers already. Oh, Dios mío, why? ¿Por qué, man? We have great attacking line. Oh, vaffanculo. That's all I can say about this statement. Vaffanculo. Oh, Dios mío, this is not great. Because this is either a smokescreen, because we will sign a striker, we're gonna talk about that in a second, or this is pretty much a confirmation from Arteta that we are not signing a forward. This is this is a rough one. This is genuinely a rough one. I hope I'm wrong and we sign one, but it doesn't look good with this statement. It doesn't look good at all. On if Ben White will back to England squad. That's for them to discuss, who cares. On PGMLS rule changes around set pieces. We will try the time within the rules. Then these rules were made specifically for Ben White, so he cannot open other opposing teams' goalkeepers' gloves when he wants to. Legitimately, it feels that way, isn't it? Because he's that kind of a shithouse. But it is what it is at the end of the day. We will have to wait and see. Kieran Tierney's injury, a transfer speculation. He needs to focus. Focus, guys. Focus. Focus. Fucking focus. Here we go. Focus. Focus, guys. Focus. And he needs to focus on recovering is the best way possible. It's been a tough time for him again with the last injury. You have to try to support him and make sure he gets back fit. So basically, be football friends. Nothing said about transfer speculation, just about potentially supporting Tierney through this tough time, which, to be honest, Arteta has created himself for Kieran Tierney. Let's be real. On players returning area from the ruin compared to other clubs, nobody cares. On additional options this season, like Manieri and Skelly. Now, this is something more interesting. Yes, for sure. And as well as we have Jurriën Timber, who lost the last 11 months. Miles has played a lot of minutes, Ethan and Aiden as well in the preseason. They gave them a platform to understand how good they are and the options they have in the squad right now. They're certainly going to be training with us. To be honest, Ethan Manieri is the guy I want to see play quite a bit of minutes this season. For me, he should start over Fabio Vieira. Mind you, Fabio Vieira at the moment is injured, so I don't see a reason why tomorrow he would not play against Wolves. I don't see a reason at the moment why not. I'm very sorry my camera is doing a madness here. Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. Legitimately don't see a reason why not. On any changes to how the young players hold themselves within the group, what I love the most is their attitudes, their personalities, and the way we compete in the training. With Mikel Arteta, it's always attitude, personality, competition, focus, and all that stuff, right? Which, to be honest, stands to a reason, because this is the reason why we are not signing Ivan Toney for the striker spot, in my opinion. Because it was said himself that Arteta didn't like his personality, and that is the case. I wonder what in his personality he didn't like, but I guess we will never find out, unless Ivan Toney comes out and says it's himself, because I don't think Arteta will ever reveal it. On getting the most out of all of our players, again, it's the focus and coaching staff and everything, okay? On how quickly our players turn the season after the final day. It was the same evening. Weird, but okay, we move. On using pain as motivation, I know, come on, man. On support of the upcoming season, blah, blah, blah. On gaining confidence from our recent preseason results. We just go game by game. Blah, 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 blah. More waffles than in a local waffle house. I'm done with that. Let's go talk some transfers. That would be more interesting. Good news! Good news! And I'm not talking about Daisy Sendero. If you have watched Top Gear, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are talking about Edward Nketiah, Eddie Murphy, Sherman Klump, Axel Foley, the king of Zamunda, the big one himself. Apparently Nottingham Forest are interested in purchasing Eddie Nketiah. This is a big one because many teams have been interested, and I hate that word because anytime Arsenal are linked with a player, they're interested in a player. Anytime someone is linked with our player, they're interested in a player. So no shit, Sherlock. But the thing is, this actually could be the last chance for Arsenal to sell Eddie Nketiah this transfer window. Because I don't see any other team coming in for Eddie. Selling him to Nottingham Forest could actually be the last chance for Arsenal to cash out on Eddie Nketiah, on Eddie Nketiah, and get some money. The question is, how much money will we get? Because I don't know how much money Nottingham Forest are valuing him at. Arsenal obviously want 30 to 35 million. The question is, can they afford that? The bigger question is, will they pay more than what Marseille offered? Because Arsenal turned down 27 million euro, about 23 to 23.5 million pound offer for Eddie Nketiah from Marseille. The question is, will Nottingham Forest offer at least the same? Because Arsenal want about 30 million, which means that Nottingham Forest should offer about 27 million and about 5 million in add-ons. That sounds to the reason that Arsenal would actually consider accepting the offer. Will they do that? Remains to be seen. But the fact is, Nottingham Forest are interested in Eddie Nketiah, and I strongly believe that this could be the last chance for Arsenal to sell Eddie Nketiah. Because if this falls flat, if this goes dead, in the last, let's just say, week and a half, I don't see any other team in desperate need to sign a striker. Not to mention Eddie Nketiah. According to Fabrizio Romano, player one, that doesn't matter. That we already talked about that. Kieran Tierney is afterwards. According to Estadio Deportivo, a Spanish website, and here as well. Here it comes from Estadio Deportivo. Here it is. Arsenal and Real Sociedad have reached the beginning of an agreement. Vamos! For Mikel Merino, worth around 35 million euros between fixed fee and add-on. So 30 plus 5, 27 plus 8, whatever it is. Or 25 plus 10 and something like that. The hope is that everything will be definitely closed this weekend. So basically, more and more reports are coming out that by Sunday, Mikel Merino will be an Arsenal player. Shame we couldn't done this deal a week sooner, because we could have actually seen him to play against Wolves, but it is what it is. By Sunday, he should be an Arsenal player. That's what all the reports are telling us, which means Arsenal actually might pull this off, and after a month of negotiations, they will actually sign Mikel Merino. The question is, why it took us a month and a half to sign Calafiori, and now a month to sign Mikel Merino? Are we really broke? We have no money whatsoever? Or what? Moving on and speaking still on Eddie Nketiah. Look at him in Nottingham Forest shirt. Looks amazing, doesn't it? He would be perfect for Nottingham Forest. Just call him up. Calling up Nottingham Forest. Just do it. Forest have declared their interest in signing Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah this summer. There are also other Premier League clubs keeping a close eye on the player. The question is, who are these clubs, by the way? Leicester? I assume one of them is Crystal Palace, because they have been linked with Eddie Nketiah for the last 2 years. Maybe West Ham, even though they have signed Fulkrug, I can see that. Maybe they have been interested in Eddie Nketiah also for about 2-3 years. Besides that, I don't see any team coming in for him. Brighton, I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks like Nottingham Forest have declared an actual interest in Eddie Nketiah. I beg Arsenal, if they come in with a proper offer, be smart and accept it. Because this could be legitimately your last chance to get rid of him. Get 100k a week, 5.2 million a year off your wage budget, and get about 25 to 30 million for him. I know Arsenal wants around 30 to 35, and the Premier League tax in this instance would apply, so Arsenal could get, in my opinion, about 32, 27 plus 5, something like that. The question is, when will be the first offer? And what will be the first offer? And how big will be the first offer? That is the big case in this regard. Let's hope and pray. Legitimately, let's hope and pray. And according to Team News and Ticks, Arsenal are still in market for 2 or 3 more players. No idea if Merino is included in these 2 or 3 players. In my opinion, it includes Mikel Merino. So most likely Arsenal looking to sign 1 or 2 more players, because I don't see after Mikel Merino Arsenal still signing 3 players. Most likely it will be 1. If we get lucky, it actually could be 2. The question is, who could it be? Because we have had no links whatsoever besides Merino. You can count Gyökeres there, some rumors. You can count Osimhen rumors there. But like concrete interest, we actually haven't had in anyone. There have been some random reports about Adingra and other players, but overall it's been all dead silent. And when Arsenal move in dead silence, it means one of 2 things. Either Arsenal are doing nothing, or it could be another Jurrien Timber or Fabio Vieira type situation when Arsenal out of nowhere signs a player. We have done it before, we have seen it before, it has happened 2 summer windows in a row, and to be honest, even though it looks like we have no money, I think Arsenal actually have the money. They're just playing low ball. And especially if we sell it in Nketiah, I think Arsenal will sign someone unexpectedly and on very low key. It will be announced and everyone will be like, what? Where the hell did that come from? I strongly believe that could be one of the signings. The question is, who will it be? Because I strongly believe as well that Arsenal will sign at least 1 more player this market. But especially, let's just say Nketiah leaves, and if Aaron Ramsdale leaves, that according to Ben Jacobs, they are preparing to come in with a second bid. It could get very interesting for Arsenal in the last weeks. To be honest, let's be real. Edu said himself that Arsenal fans should be patient and they will be excited by the end of the window. We are 2 weeks away from that, so I guess let's sit patient, because so in some weird instance, some weird reason, for a change which is very for Arsenal uncharacteristic, our transfer business towards the end part of the window is starting to pick up pace. Because usually we sign early and then for the rest of the window we basically do nothing. But now it looks like that in the beginning of the window we tried Sesko, it fell flat allegedly. We signed Calafiori after 1.5 months, and only now it's slowly starting to pick up the pace with Emil Smith-Rowe, now Merino, then links with Edu Nketiah. It's like snowballing into something bigger at the moment. It's very weird, because with Arsenal it's always the other way around. But according to the Dutchman Romano, mad name, I'm not gonna lie, Ajax and but that is obviously from Ben Jacobs. That comes out straight from Ben Jacobs. Now, Ajax and Aaron Ramsdale deal is complicated. Ajax need to sell to meet Arsenal's demands, which is very weird because actually Ajax are a very wealthy club. I think the fact that... Wait, Ajax are not in Champions League, are they? I think Ajax are not in Champions League last year. They finished 5th, so they are in Conference League. They managed... Oh, yeah, they just had that massive 13-12 win. They are only in Conference League. No, Europa League, sorry. They're in Europa League. But to be honest, yeah, Europa League. That actually wouldn't be the worst for Aaron Ramsdale, in my opinion. I thought it was Conference League, my bad. But that's the thing. If they were in Champions League, they would get some extra money for qualification. Which means at the end of the day, maybe there wouldn't be an issue with Aaron Ramsdale. But they are looking for a good goalkeeper. And Ajax are still trying to find a solution, which by the looks of things means that they actually want Ramsdale pretty damn badly. Obviously the first offer was a loan, so that got rejected. There are talks about a loan with an obligation to buy. It looks like Arsenal this transfer window might spend legitimately. Edu will do this. He has a task to sell. He will loan out most players that he needs to get rid of with obligations to or options to buy. And Arsenal will spend at the last week or week and a half in the transfer window and hope that in next summer window, the teams that we have loaned out the players to with obligations to buy actually get the players to balance the books out from the previous window, specifically this window. It looks like Arsenal are trying a very risky move, playing a chess game, and if it pays off, it will pay off big time. If it falls flat, they're screwed. It looks that way. And on top of all that, apparently Aaron Ramsdale is very keen to go to Ajax. Obviously, Netherlands and especially Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, AZ Alkmaar and everyone have very passionate fans, and that would actually play into Aaron Ramsdale's hands because he needs that passion. He's an emotional goalkeeper who needs that emotion to play football. As he said himself, he cannot focus for the full 90. So every odd time now and then he just tries to banter with the fans and everything. So it looks like that could actually be a very good move for him. Very good move if it materializes. The question is, will it materialize? Because at the moment, it's all like mystery. It's all up in the air. It's like in a fog. We don't clearly see the picture, of course. But it looks like Ajax won the move. It looks like Aaron Ramsdale is open to the move. The question is, if Ajax sell a player, will they be open? Maybe Arsenal obviously in the first will try to push a buy now thing to basically purchase the player right away. I would assume so, because it would be stupid if they didn't, obviously. So we'll see how that goes. But if it falls flat, Arsenal will try and push on a loan with obligation to buy, just like they did with Nuno Savage. So at this stage, if it starts to picking up some pace, it's a win-win for the both camps. All three camps, to be honest. For Ajax, they get a good, to be honest, very good goalkeeper. For Arsenal, they get rid of Ramsdale, who doesn't want to sit on the bench. He wants to be number one, plus he would do good there. And the third one is it's good for Ramsdale, because he also gets to move. The thing is, if Ramsdale leaves, Arsenal will have to spend more money to sign a backup goalkeeper, which in this instance is not a great thing, let's be real. Because Arsenal have already identified Juan Garcia from Espanyol, and it looks like by the time Arsenal will actually get to him, if Ramsdale leaves, he will be about £30 million. And that is not a good thing. Because overall, we will have spent 30, and 26. So 86 million on 3 goalkeepers in the last 3 years. It's not a great thing. It wouldn't be a great thing, let's be real. But it is what it is. We will have to wait and see. Sorry? There's a EDM concert happening legitimately 4 kilometers that way from me, and I have open window and I can hear everything, every single DJ, everything what they're playing. I absolutely love it. Anyways, swiftly moving on. Arsenal are closing in on 29.8 million transfer to sign Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad. It looks like it's happening. Mikel Merino, 30 million nearly, is gonna become an Arsenal player. Finally, that's all I can say, because I'm already tired of this daily Merino stuff, and I strongly hope that finally it is over and we can move on to new targets, because I'm sick and tired to talk about Mikel Merino every day. It's like having one song on repeat for a month and a half, and we have been linked with Merino nearly a month and a half, and it has been the same thing every single day. So it is what it is at the end of the day. They're in the final stages, it's nearly done. So what we're gonna keep on doing now, let's refresh this so I get rid of all the useless ones. I have already checked. So moving on to Kieran Tierney, who is still injured obviously, but there are some rumors circulating in the footballing world, in the reports and everything, that Everton potentially could be eyeing a move for Kieran Tierney. Fee is believed to be about in the region of 12 to 15 million. Arsenal signed him for about 26, I think, million, something like that. Loan with obligation to buy, also a possibility. Now, first things first, let's be real. If Everton cannot pay 12 to 15 million for a player, it's not looking good for them. Second of all, loan with obligation to buy, I much rather see just a sell. But it looks like Everton are potentially eyeing move for Kieran Tierney, which would be a great move to him, let's be real. Because he's not going to see a game time at Arsenal whatsoever, even though I still believe that he is top 2 left back at Arsenal. He just doesn't fit how Arteta wants to play. which is a massive shame. And this is what I criticize at Arteta of one of the biggest reasons, because manager's job is to implement players in the team so they can play to their strengths and at the same time improve the team. But he just wants to sell the players he doesn't want and just buy the players he wants. And that doesn't work always like that. He needs to stick with what he has. And that is one of the biggest reasons I'm very, very critical of Mikel Arteta. He's a good coach, but he's not a great manager. And that could be one of the biggest downfalls for Arsenal, why we are not gonna win anything. But it looks like Kieran Tierney actually might be moving. That is a great thing. That is a great, great sign. By the way, in this picture, right, it looks like his head is way bigger for the body that he has been put on. My camera has done a madness again. God damn. I need to, you see, this, I need to install it properly. I still haven't gotten around to it, but I have 2 weeks off from work, so I might actually do it over this next upcoming week when I get some time. But yeah, you can even see where the Photoshop has been cut the head off from a different image, because it goes over the white collar, and where is the neck V shape, you can see a gap there. And you can see that his head is way bigger than it should be for that body, but that's just a weird observation. But yeah, it looks like Kieran Tierney actually finally might be on the move. We haven't heard anything about him since the beginning of the window, where there were some talks for potential move back to Celtic, but now it looks like that actually it might happen. Might actually happen. This is an interesting one, and this is also according to Ben Jacobs. Arsenal are looking at following strikers. Obviously, there were some reports yesterday and day before yesterday that Arsenal are trying to decide whether to go for a forward, a wide forward, or for a striker. And these are the strikers Arsenal have on their list. And to be honest, there are quite interesting ones. Not gonna lie. We have Victor Gyökeres, which would be my number one option of these, definitely. Evan Ferguson, I'm not sure we would sign him for less than 50 million from Brighton. Although Brighton have signed quite a bit of strikers, they actually may need to sell someone. And Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, right? He's at Feyenoord. He hasn't joined Premier League yet. So that will be very interesting to see what's gonna happen with that. Santiago Jimenez. Would you take Santiago Jimenez at Arsenal? Would you take him at Arsenal? That is also a big question. Santiago Jimenez. He plays for Feyenoord, right? He's at Feyenoord. How did he do last season? Let's check his stats. Yeah, good for you. Simple. Don't watch then. Very, very simple. I have a habit. Not the best one, but it is what it is. Santiago Jimenez. What did he... Well, this season, in Eredivisie, 1 game, 1 assist. Let's look at the overall one. Would be nice if it loaded. Last season, Santiago Jimenez. Here we go. Eredivisie, 30 games, 23 goals, 6 assists. That's actually pretty decent goal per game ratio, pretty much. Champions League, 4 games, 2 goals, 1 assist, which is not bad at all. Europa League, 2-1. So, overall, he actually did pretty darn good. Scored 2 against Lazio. A red card suspension. Oh, bloody hell. How Copa America for Mexico hasn't done great. Europa League scored against Roma, but they lost on penalties. Overall in Eredivisie, he actually scores quite consistently, I'm not gonna lie. What's his injury record saying? Because that also could affect a lot of things. Oh, he's not that injury prone, to be honest. 2 seasons ago, missed 1 game. And last season, missed 3 games. Which is not... That's actually pretty darn good in that instance. His value is about 40 million euros. I would assume Feyenoord would want around 45 million pounds. 40 to 45 million pounds. That's actually not too bad. 23, so perfect age profile for Mikel Arteta. Pause. But yeah, that's actually pretty darn good. Now, if we look at Evan Ferguson, let's see whatever Ferguson did. He's still 19. He would be, yeah, about 60 million. I'm not sure Arsenal would pay that for him. Might as well get Gyökeres then. Last season in Premier League, 47... No, in Premier League general. Never mind, I won last season, not 47 games overall. No. Last season, 27 games, 6 goals. Before that, 19 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. So he did worse than in previous season, in season before when he played actually less. So that is not a great sign. Mostly spends time on the bench or not playing. Or he actually is playing and not doing anything. Obviously he got an ankle injury, which is not great. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Evan Ferguson, I'm not sure. I wouldn't say Kevin Ferguson, let's be real. I rather have Gyökeres. If this is the 3 strikers Arsenal are looking at, for me the list goes Gyökeres, then Santiago Jimenez, and then Evan Ferguson. But the Gunners' budget may prevent any of these signings without an outgoing first. Obviously Arsenal are trying to sell. We will see what's going to happen with Tierney, as we talked about just a second ago. Ryan Ramsdale, maybe can try and force a buy option. And of course what's going to happen with Edu Nketiah, because it looks like there is actually some concrete interest from Nottingham Forest, and we actually might have some hopes that he actually leaves. So we will have to wait and see how it goes, where it goes, and why it goes. But the fact that Arsenal actually have some strikers on the list is actually quite promising, I'm not gonna lie, because there were some instances based on how the interviews have gone, how everything is going, that we won't sign a striker at all. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see. But hey ho, here we are now. Would you take any of these strikers at Arsenal? Like, legitimately. Would you take Gyökeres? Would you take... Let's just say, I would assume that most of you would take Gyökeres. Would you take Santiago Jimenez? That is the big question right here. Would you take Santiago Jimenez at Arsenal? Because I'm sure none of you would take Evan Ferguson. Santiago Jimenez would be a gamble, I'm not gonna lie, because he's coming from Eredivisie and it could be a very rough for him, but at the same time he might hit the ground running, you never know, because coming from Eredivisie is a very 50-50 one. Sometimes you get a masterclass, sometimes you get a very good player who instantly integrates into the team, into the system, into the league, and does great. Sometimes you get a player who needs some few more seasons to actually get up to the speed. So we have to wait and see. But personally, I would take Gyökeres first, then Santiago Jimenez, and if push comes to shove, if there are no other strikers Arsenal actually could go after, I would go for Evan Ferguson. But definitely he wouldn't be not even close to the top of the list for me to sign Arsenal as striker. 100%. So let's see what else is here. This one. Big up Peppermint, and I don't know if he's in the chat or not, Peppermint Freedom, but he tweeted me this, and we were talking about this previously, and finally some other people are saying this, because this is something that doesn't get spoken of enough. Paul Merson and said this about Arsenal. I think Arsenal are a couple of injuries away from being in a battle to make the top 4. Now, it may sound a controversial take, let's be real, but to be honest, this statement is one of the most true statements I have heard from any pundit this transfer window about Arsenal. Because I strongly believe in this. If you look at evidence, last season, we avoided every single injury imaginable to our main 11. Partey was out for almost all season, let's be real. Timber played half a game, so it doesn't count. Martinelli here or there. Jesus was out for most of the time, but he was out season before. Same goes with Partey, he's mostly injured. Tomiyasu mostly gets injured as well, so he was out for some time. We never got any injuries in any of our key areas. Never got injured Odegaard, Saka, Havertz even to some weird extent. Declan Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White. Name our starting 11, the main starting 11 who played the most. They never got injured, and we played more or less the same 11. At the same time, if you look at Manchester City, they had for half a year Kevin De Bruyne was injured. Haaland was out, I think, for about 2 months, two and a half months as well. And they still managed to keep up and in the end win the league. That is the biggest thing. Even if Man City get injuries, they have players to replace them, and not drop the levels more or less whatsoever. Arsenal, on the other hand, if one of our main guys gets injured, it's instantly panic settings. And now imagine if we hit some weird, unruly, unluck, very dark hearts, and we get injuries to our two main guys. They got two main guy injured in Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne. For Arsenal, for example, it's Saka and Martin Odegaard. We are not anymore in a title race. We are instantly in a scrap for top 4. Instantly. Because those two guys are the main source of our attack. And if you take them out, we will start to struggle like no tomorrow. And I genuinely believe that many Arsenal fans haven't clocked it yet. Because they are saying our team is good enough. Everything is great. Arsenal will do this. Arsenal will win the league and all that stuff. They say all these things without taking certain factors into account. Like, for example, as we talked about, Arsenal didn't get injured pretty much at all last season. City had multiple injuries. Not to mention their main starting guys who are on the biggest money you can get. So if that happens at Arsenal, we are instantly screwed. City are not. And that's the biggest thing. Arsenal don't have backups. Our bench is just awful. Let's say it how it is pound per pound. Maybe we have 2, 3, maybe 4 decent players we can sub on. But to have them consistently as a replacement for one of our main guys, not good enough whatsoever. They genuinely are not good enough. And Arsenal will get royally screwed if that is the case and that happens. And that is one of the biggest worries for me at the moment. It's not just enough that we haven't signed a striker. We haven't signed another midfielder. But we don't have a backup for Saka. We don't have a backup for Odegaard. We don't have a proper backup for Saliba. Because we don't know how Timber will look at center back. We have no idea how Calafiori would look if he replaced Gabriel. We have no idea. Especially if Calafiori plays left back. We have none of those ideas. Imagine Partey is injured and Declan Rice gets injured. Then our midfield is gonna be Jorginho, Havertz most likely, and Martin Odegaard. And then we're gonna put Jesus up top. If Jesus gets injured, who's then going up top? Trossard? Martinelli? Who? We will genuinely be screwed instantly. And we can kiss our title hopes goodbye. At the moment, I have maybe 0.1% belief that Arsenal will win the title this year. Because based on this transfer window, we have done nothing to decrease the gap between Arsenal and Manchester City. However, every single team that was behind Arsenal last season has done quite a bit to decrease the gap between them and us. And that is a big worry because Newcastle was ridiculed with injuries last season. We saw how their season went. Same can be said for Aston Villa. Not sure what's going to happen with Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. You never know. Chelsea, not sure what's going to happen under Mascarpone in charge. We have no idea at the moment, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there are multiple teams that can do something now. Arsenal at the moment, in my opinion, are not ready for the Premier League. Because I strongly don't believe that Arsenal have deep enough squad to play the same way we played last year when we have same players to play 65, 70 games a season to be to a competitive level. This would mean that they have played 70 games or so 2 years in a row, so that's 140 games in 700 days. It doesn't roll like that. It's not gonna happen like that. At some point, something has to give, and sooner or later, something will give, and those will come out as injuries to our players. And I don't want to see that. That's why I am so critical at the moment, so annoyed with the transfer market, because we are doing nothing to improve our bench, to improve our depth. We are signing some players. Yes, we signed Calafiori, but for me, it wasn't the number one necessity in the team. He was maybe the fourth choice player we needed to sign. We needed to sign a striker, a winger, a number 8, and then you can think about Calafiori. Then you can sell something and maybe find other midfielders or something else to sign. But overall, yeah, it's not looking great at the moment. It's looking actually pretty darn dangerous what Arsenal are doing. They're legitimately at the moment walking a tightrope over Grand Canyon with no safety rope. Because as soon as they're gonna put one foot wrong, somebody is gonna get injured. We will start to fall, we will start to sway in the wind. Maybe another breeze comes, another injury, another knock, and we're gonna fall off. And what's gonna happen? Will the players we have will be good enough for us to maybe grab the rope and keep hanging there and maybe pull ourselves up? Or we will miss the rope completely and just fall into the Grand Canyon and it will be a top 4 battle, not actually a title battle. It all remains to be seen, but at the moment, in my opinion, we legitimately are not ready. We need more, and we need quite a bit more, to be honest. So it is very interesting to see what's gonna happen with Arsenal in that regard. But let's see what else is here. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a sec. I need to. Let's do this. Sorry, misclick. Wrong chat. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else here about Mikel or Arsenal. Thomas Partey's girl, Gifty Boakia expects baby with another Ghanaian player. Oh, she cheated on him. Rah. Mikel Arteta positive on player with tremendous ability. How do we? He is like Gyökeres. Arsenal could supercharge Bukayo Saka with unstoppable 42 million signing. Any guesses who it is? We talked about Gyökeres. We talked about Santiago Jimenez. We mentioned him before today as well in the video, in the stream. Santiago Jimenez would be around 43 to 50 million pounds. The question is, would you take him at Arsenal? That is the big question. Will he bag you the goals? Will he be good enough? Will he integrate into the team? He would come straight from Eredivisie. Will he fit into the league straight up instantly? Who knows? Genuinely, who knows? But I think on this note we are gonna end the stream, mostly because the game between United and Fulham kicks off in half a minute. So I definitely want to watch that. I want to kick off the season properly with some snacks, with some chills, some drinks and everything. So take care, stay safe. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new on here, don't forget smash thumbs up. Definitely helps the algorithm. Comment if you're looking this on a playback. Take care, stay safe, subscribe, like, do everything. Have a great day. And tomorrow, don't forget, watch along on this channel. First one ever, Arsenal versus Wolves. Take care, stay safe, have a great day. Peace.